Okay, let's get real and talk about 5 improvements that cost more than the value that they add. Okay, so it doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. You should just do it with eyes wide open. You should understand what you're getting into. So many improvements will end up costing more than the value they add. You know, if you do an improvement and then immediately sell the house, it's like, hey, I didn't sell it for that much more. You know, I spent $20,000 on this thing and then I sold the house, but I only got an additional $10,000 of value. That's actually going to be true with a lot of different improvements. It doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, but you should do those improvements because you want them, and then you get enjoyment out of the improvements, and then they're worth it. And over time, of course, the value catches up. With real estate, the value always catches up over time. The 5 to 10 year trend is almost always up in real estate. You're building equity over time. So anyway, 5 things. So the first, swimming pools. Swimming pools almost always cost a lot more than the value that they add. And even, going wild with a bunch of extras, a bunch of extra concrete, and the cost just really adds up. So make sure if you're doing a pool that you want to enjoy the pool and that that's worth it to you. It doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. And then definitely don't factor in like the maintenance over the years and how much you spend on that. There's certain kinds of math you should just never do. The next thing is workshops, concrete slab, metal building, electricity, insulation, all that's great, but it's not going to add more value than it costs. Solar panels. So solar panels, we'll do another video talking about this, but the market hasn't really caught up. We haven't really adjusted. There's not a great way to value these things yet. And the consumer doesn't have an easy way to compare a bunch of properties that have solar panels and why they're worth more than the others. And I think over time, technology gets better. They become more common. There'll be an easier way to evaluate it. But right now, it throws more of a wrench in the deal as far as evaluating a property. Windows. So it's awesome to redo your windows. It's awesome to get that benefit of a more energy efficient house and maybe to have a window that you can actually open if you live in a house where you can't currently open your windows. But generally, they're going to cost more than the value that they add. And the last thing is kitchen cabinets. So, again, doesn't mean you shouldn't do the cabinets, but you should understand that doing kitchen cabinets, redoing them is very expensive. Cabinets are expensive, and often if you're redoing cabinets, it forces you to redo the countertops as well, forces you to redo the backsplash, and sometimes even the flooring, depending on what you're doing with the cabinets. And cabinets are just very expensive. And if you already have a house that already has cabinets, it's just not going to add as much value as you wish it would. Again, doesn't mean you shouldn't do these improvements, but keep an open mind. Make sure you're planning to enjoy the improvement and get to improving.